Hey everybody, welcome back to another episode of RevTalks. Today we are joined with Frank. How's it going today?
It's going great, Patrick. How you doing? Thanks for having me on.
Doing pretty well. Appreciate you taking some time out of your day to be on here. Would you mind giving us a little high-level overview about who you are and what you do, obviously as the president over at AlphaKOR?
Sure. Frank Abbruzzese, president of AlphaKOR Group, located here in Windsor, Ontario, Canada. We have offices throughout coast to coast in Canada, and we're servicing clients that need their IT and cyber virtually globally today in terms of what we're doing. Company's been around 31 years, and we continue to grow year over year.
Sweet. Very nice setup. Obviously, over these past couple of decades, how have new customers gone about finding you guys other than word of mouth referrals and networking, which I'm sure is pretty strong within the business itself?
Well, you took away all the three big pieces there. Well, they're searching for us online as well, testimonials, a lot of client referrals out there. Part of associations, we've given back to the community. So we've raised the awareness across the board. Some of the cities that we're in, because of a few national and government contracts, they do get word of what we're doing. And one really exciting thing is some key employees, when they're moving from one company to another company, they find that the incumbent is having challenges resolving their IT as they continue to grow. So they lean on AlphaKOR and see if there's a good fit. And we've been a great fit to be brought into new situations thanks to our relationships we built with our clients from company A that go to company B. And that's been kind of an exciting growth path.
Nice. And when it comes down to the day-to-day operations of what you do as the president, what have you seen historically? Obviously, has been a bigger challenge over the course of the company's either lifespan or your lifespan being the president of this company. What kind of challenges have you been facing and that have been struggles for you recently?
Well, for the most part, up to 2 years ago, in terms of president, I was always overseeing the corporate team at a high level and the marketing. So as of a couple of years ago, we appointed a CEO that's handling deeper into the day-to-day operations on that. I'm there in terms of assistant and more of senior management to coach and assist. And challenges out there is the noise, right? So a few years ago, we went through COVID was a lot of noise. Last couple of years has been different type of noise that we've had coming into Canada, as you know. So you have to deal with all that, weed it through, get up in the morning and figure out and focus. What are we going to do for our team? What are we going to do for our clients? What are we going to do for our prospects that are coming to us? How are we going to continue to support the community and give back? How are we going to continue to grow? And I can sit here today and tell you February 25th this year, we had 31 years of successful growth year over year. And this next fiscal is looking great too. So I'm very happy and proud of the team.
Nice. Absolutely. And when it comes down to software development and solutions, obviously you guys deal with different IT spaces and different software technical solutions, things like that. Can you briefly explain some of the projects that maybe the team has taken on or some of the different types of deals that you guys typically transact away from kind of the IT space, more of software development, things like
Sure.
that?
So over the years, let's go back, to almost 30 years ago. So we didn't have some really good, powerful software programs available to the small business sector, if you will. So we wrote CRM, customer relation management software that were customized to help people with the sales process for companies. We took one industry and actually wrote an entire sales process that they were challenged in terms of things going from a manual word of mouth into the digital world, helping them get onto websites, helping them get into email, and helping them with their sales process, including the form letter when you first sit down with someone. Then we evolved to, larger corporations that needed enterprise resource planning, ERP. MRP, managed resource provider. So we took a look at the entire operation, process flow, workflow that we've done with some companies on different areas and departments. And we built a over-encompassing entire, from start to bottom of the entire operation. And so this one shop is fairly large in North America with multiple locations. And it's all based on the platform that AlphaKOR built. And from there, with that platform, we were able to customize it for other people in the manufacturing sector. So that's been really exciting. So now we fast forward as we get into software as a service, if you will. So there's some templates and libraries that have been built that can be customized for many clientele. And there's also things that are ready out of the box that will solve a lot of problems that small business medium are facing today. And of course, with our AI machine learning and the intelligence that we're tying into artificial and human, and with the agents, there's a lot of great stuff that's going on in the software development side of things right now. And that's moving extremely fast. So we're excited to be ahead of the game on it as usual.
Absolutely. I like that. And obviously, software development space moves very fast. Obviously, you can offer a conjunction amount of solutions to other businesses in the space. What do you typically find is kind of the best route to take when you obviously get introduced to a business or a specific company that might need some sort of development needs? What have you found over these past, couple of decades has really pushed the needle forward in terms of getting in front of them and kind of getting them interested in maybe one of your software solutions? Because obviously it's very broad. You can offer custom different solutions, so it's hard to kind of pinpoint. What have you sort of figured out is
Yeah.
a great method?
Great question. I'm going to start with most people that I know in my travels over the 38 years that I've been in this industry love to do software demos. I raise a red flag and I caution. When I sit down and we get into a new opportunity, one, we want a clear understanding of the scope. Most people will tell you they have a scope, but they're just scratching the surface. So to have a really successful product, you need a few elements. One, you need to have a well-defined scope, and that usually means working together with the client and prospect, if that's the case, and building a proper scope. Because the software development team, whether we're using tools or customization, you need to have a blueprint. You're not going to build a house or a building without a blueprint. So scope of work is a blueprint. That's a fundamental piece that we see that's missed by a lot of people out there today. So AlphaKOR, we like to lead to make sure we have that blueprint scope of work. Secondly, we need a champion. And so because we're talking software development, AI, we always go into the IT team. That's excellent and that's great, but we need the champion. So we need the champion on the corporate side of it to run the project, lead their team, take everybody's input, consolidate it, and prioritize it. Secondly, we need decision makers that are in charge of the budget. What is the budget and the timeline, right? So it's great that we have all these ideas. It's great that we want to do all this stuff, but you need that. You need the scope of work defined well. You need a champion on board, and you need the decision makers at the table supporting it to make a win-win. So we get a number of people involved in our company with a number of people in the client or the prospect, if that's the case. So that part has been very successful in terms of coming out with projects that are well defined and well successful.
Sounds like scope of work is very important up front, mapping out what needs to get done for the customer and their entire
Absolutely.
journey when developing the software. And as of right now, how many new projects are you guys taking on, say, quarter over quarter?
It's, numbers at my fingertip. There's always multiple projects per week that are actually happening. And the depth of the team is 85 people. There's a lot going on here. The project managers have a great handle on it. I would say if we're, just conservatively, if we're doing a couple a week, that's 824. I would say we're always about 24 to 35 projects per quarter minimum. That's just on the software development side of it. Also projects for infrastructure and hardware with server in the cloud, server on-prem, hybrid. Again, it doesn't really matter what the question is out there. We can definitely come to the table and come up with a solution.
Yes, I like that. And obviously, you guys aren't even at full capacity with 86, obviously in those space and engineers and things like that, because projects require a lot of manpower and obviously utilization of AI and things like that. So it's very important to have a solid team, as you know. And with that being said, a lot of people are aggressively implementing AI in the company, in the business, things like that, with different sectors. What are some ways you guys are currently implementing AI on a large scale and on a smaller scale?
So to implement AI, we need a few things out there. One, we need to combine the human side of it. So we've seen a lot of people getting caught in the trap. I'm sure, Patrick, you've seen it and our audience have seen it where you're getting these responses continuously, right? If I connect you on LinkedIn, I get the same response twice. When I say, hey, thank you for connecting, I get the same response. I replied to it, I get the same response. So you need the human element to it. So one thing that we're doing, whether it's small or large, is making sure there's a human side of it. There's got to be some emotion, some passion, which is difficult to do, when we're talking about text and email, et cetera. But you need to have that piece added to it. A nice combination is taking this young, energetic audience and taking the ones that have some experience and bringing them together. Those are my four ingredients that I find that are going to work really well in this automated digital world. Let's take some young and experienced. Let's take all the great AI and human, bring it together. Those four ingredients, we are making game changes for managing intelligence for a lot of our clientele out there. Many years ago we talked about big data mining. So this is still every company's chomping on the bit. I'm collecting all this data. What am I going to do with it? And so when we look at the AI world of today, that's exactly what we're doing. We're helping them with all of this data, all of this information, all the incoming requests on the website, on the email, and the chat box, right? How can we automate it and add a human element to it and make processes flow a lot smoother and quicker and make the whole experience easier for everyone on the corporate, on the prospect and on the customer side of things. So that's what we've been able to do by combining those four ingredients.
Sweet. Yeah, definitely. And I think it's very interesting too. And you mentioned earlier with combining the generations, it's kind of funny because obviously I'm a younger generation,
Yep.
obviously.
Yep.
Everybody in my generation grew up on YouTube
Yep.
and sort of teaching and seeing a bunch of stuff that, maybe previous generations weren't exposed to just because of internet and things like that.
Right.
So the entire like lifespan has been digital, AI, internet. And so that's kind of like been, I think a lot of people my age have obviously excelled in those
Yeah.
sectors. It's very interesting you
I heard
bring that
that I'm
up.
old. It's okay. I'm a grandfather in this industry, Patrick, and I just want to share two things about what your comment. One, I got to grow up in the industry with all of this, right? Because we were in a pre-internet DOS world when we first started in '88 for me. Secondly, I have daughters now that are 26 and 28, so I got to see the young audience, what they went through and how they grew up digitally. So I've been very blessed on both sides of it. So, but thanks for sharing that, Patrick, because you are right.
Yeah, definitely. Sweet. And yeah, you already have experience with having kids in that sector too. So
Hmm.
it's definitely huge. And I forgot to ask, where exactly are you personally based out of?
I'm based in Windsor, Ontario. We're south of Detroit, Michigan, believe it or not. And it's an exciting place to be in Canada. We're in the most southern part of Canada. If you look at our map, you'll find over 60 million Americans live north of Windsor, Ontario, believe it or not. So it's kind of exciting being a border city and just taking a look at what's going on here. We're automotive capital of the world as well. So it's been an exciting space to be in.
Nice, nice. And moving forward, obviously, as you push through Q2 and move on to Q3 and Q4 with AlphaKOR, where are you guys actually looking to be in terms of not necessarily just financial or revenue, but where are you guys looking to be operationally, team wise? Moving on with the company and as you guys scale and as your role progresses, what are some things moving forward that you guys are maybe looking forward to?
Well, the major thing with the whole shift into AI, right? So this is a fairly new, but not so new. It's been around a long time, by the way. Just a little history for those who want to know. The term was coined in '57, and it was taboo, not allowed to be used until 1993, I believe. University of Toronto professor and two students actually sold the first AI lab to Google. So another Canadian first, another Canadian built. Just so everybody's aware. Of course, we needed to work with our great neighbors, the Americans, to make sure that we work together and collaborate. So that's the beautiful thing about Detroit Windsor, right? We're intertwined together. In the future, AlphaKOR is going to continue to grow. And we're a managed service provider. We have our custom software with us, all the AI and machine learning we talked about. Have a digital marketing team that is phenomenal. Anything to do with your digital footprint for web SEO, et cetera, digital marketing. We have a security division where we run fiber, of course, your Cat 6 for those who need that, and monitoring security cameras IP. The big picture for the corp is going to be to evolve from a managed service provider into a managed service provider powered as a managed intelligence provider. This is the next phase in our industry. It's a very exciting piece. And we're using the word intelligence, and it's being redefined as we speak in the last couple of years. And it's going to be back to what I said earlier. Human and AI combined together is how we're going to manage intelligence. Neither one is going to win the race, quote unquote. So again, let's take the young Patricks of the world with the old guys like me. Let's take AI and human intelligence, combine those four, and we're going to continue to grow and be a strong leading entity here, as always.
Absolutely. I appreciate it, Frank. And where can we find you on the internet and where can we find the company and things like that? What are some socials and everything?
Absolutely. So we love, as a corporation, AlphaKOR, ALPHAKOR. You can find us on LinkedIn, on X, on Facebook, and Instagram. And myself, Frank Abbruzzese, my name is in there. You can look for in all those same platforms as well. Very easy to find me, and love making new connections with anyone that wants to reach out. Be more than happy to connect and have a conversation. And you just never know where it's going to go.
Sweet. I appreciate it, Frank. Thanks for jumping on. And we'll stay in touch. Look forward to getting this episode out as well.
Great. Thank you, Patrick.